Alright, we are here in game 4 of Mono Green Merfolk. Ugh, we cannot keep this hand. I want to thank you for stopping by. I'm Kody, one of the hosts of Fishin' Merfolk Podcast. Make sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/fishcastmtg. That is the best way to directly help the show. We're going to put that on top. And your support goes to things like this overlay, our new logos that are debuting the week these videos go out, and yeah, we get all sorts of fun stuff. All right, so there's Watergrave. There's a cycled Street Wraith. This is likely Death Shadow. All right, let's get a Oran Reef down, and there's the forest that we left on top. There's a Bloodstained Mire from our opponent. Nothing. All right. Let's get a forest down. Let's get Deep Root Elite into play and see what happens. So obviously we found that this deck is not something that you'd want to go Fatal Push from our opponent, sure. This is not a deck that you would want to be your primary Merfolk deck. This is something that you can sleeve up as like a side thing, you know, to bring every once in a while, and it'll be fun, it'll be cool, and that'll be it. Like, you will, you know, I can't really recommend this as a very competitive. There's a Thoughtseize. They're probably going to take our Collected Company. Just a guess. So, yep, there goes our Collected Company, and they're down to 12. So this is kind of where we could expect to see a Death Shadow come down, if it is indeed Death Shadow. Let's get this forest down and play Jade Light Ranger. Maybe it's just Grixis control. Alright, so we have Deeper Delete on top, so we can go Forest and then play Deeper Delete, play Jade Bearer, put a counter on everything. Swing. I'm taking another 2 off the Blood Crypt. I mean, I can't see this being just regular Grixis control if they're dealing this so much damage to themselves. That is definitely oh, Gurmag Angler. Okay. Snapcaster Mage to target Fatal Push. Let's redock that. And then what are they gonna Fatal Push? They're gonna Fatal Push the Deeper Delete, likely. Yeah, because they can't target the Jade Bearer. That's fine. Put a +1/+1 counter on Jade Bearer. And we're not going to send our Jade Light Ranger to die just yet. I was gonna say, if they take another shock, I don't know what they're doing. Let's play the Oran Reef and pass a turn. Hopefully we hit something nice soon. We have just over a third of the lands in our deck, either in play or in our hand. Oh, there's a vial. Well, let's get it going. If they blow it up, then it's a card they've used up out of their hand, and I'm fine with that. Okay, our opponent did nothing. We're going to put a counter on Aether Vial. Hopefully we draw something neat like a Collected Company. Oh, we drew another forest. Do not like that. You need to draw things other than forest. So I wonder what our opponent is gearing up for. Like, do they have counter spells? Do they have... that's weird. Oh, okay. Okay, because so that's original Ravnica. That's okay. That's why it's all the coloring is off. Like I just noticed that on the side there. Okay, so let's see what our opponent does here. Let's not draw a land. Let's put another counter on Aether Vial. All right. Come on, opponent. Let's move this along. Yeah, I would love to. Oh, geez. 5, 7, 8. It's almost half the lands in our deck. We will not be short of things to play. Honestly, Coco would be sweet because then we could double Oran Reef and have a huge field. Well, actually, let's do that later. Because we can vial it in and then double Oran Reef and have at least a 3/3. And vialing it in gets around counterspells, so that's definitely another thing. Another good reason for Aether Vial. And I think our opponent might be flooding out as well. Which may be why they're not doing anything. But it's also just a Grixis deck, so it could just be... Oh, there's a Fatal Push. Okay. Okay, we're just going to take this damage here. So he probably was just waiting on that Fatal Push for a fetch, which he got. So we're going to Vial in Deeper Delete, and then put a +1/+1 counter on each green creature that entered this turn. Doesn't really matter, but we're just going to show him that we can do it. It's another card out of our opponent's hand. And we do not want another counter on Aether Vial, so we're just going to skip right past that. Branchwalker's cool, but again, we can just do it second main 2, 3, 4. So we can't quite kill the angler. But we can kill the snapcaster. Alright, so now we're doing it. And we can also, with the explore trigger, see what's on top of our library. Either draw past the land or... Sure. Take another 2. We're just going to go ahead and do it now. We can take the hit for now, so we're just going to let it go. Death Shadow. There it is. Death Shadow is such a flavorful card. We're just going to take it up to 3. It does think that we don't have the Deeper Delete anymore. Deeper Delete is would be super helpful with the Jade Light Ranger. And this Jade Bearer is just going to be kind of a roadblock. Well, actually, so when he attacks, we're going to flash in the Jade Light Ranger, or Vial in the Jade Light Ranger, because with the Oran Reef and its Explore triggers, we might have something that can kill that Death Shadow. And our opponent does know about this Jade Light Ranger, as long as they've been paying attention. So there's Jade Light Ranger. Trigger. 1 trigger. I'll put that in the yard. Because Death Shadow does not have trample. And then we're going to make sure to double Oran Reef here to make this Jade Light Ranger as big as we can make it. And maybe, just maybe, we won't hit another land. Well, I did say not another land, didn't I? Ooh, woof. That is just bad. That is actively bad. So we're definitely going to bring in Shaper Sanctuary because of all this targeted removal, the Fatal Push, the bolts. We definitely need those. And I mean, we're just dead here. We have to block, because if we do not, then he just bolts us and then we die. And there's another Death Shadow. Okay, yeah, we can't beat that. And knowing our luck, we draw another land. Okay. So Relic will be good, so we can kind of combat the... Why do you do that? I hate it. And Shaper Sanctuary. Because we want to target... We want to make it so that them targeting our creatures is a bad idea. Cut some heroic interventions, and we'll cut 2 hardened scales. Like, maybe cut 1 collected company and leave in another hardened scales. Like, I want the companies, but the hardened scales are where we make our bread. Maybe not so much. Yeah, let's do that. So, cut 2, hardened scales. Just because of the the removal that we have. You know, actually, what might be would be Nature's Claim. They don't have any enchantments really, I guess. So this seems kind of slow. We don't really have any interaction with their yard. I mean, this is 5 lands. Like, we can't keep this. Mulligan. This is better. I mean, we have 3 lands coming into play untapped. We have a Vial. Let's not do that now. Aether Vial, pass the turn. Let's see what our opponent's up to here. Flooded Strand from our opponent. And they're going to get a Watery Grave and shock themselves. Maybe Thoughtseize? Oh, Inquisition. Okay. Non-land cards, so they can take either Jade Light Ranger or Metallic. There's the Metallic Mimic. Goes down. Keeps us off doing something on turn 2. Maybe. Oh, it definitely does. Bloodstained Mire. They crack it, and what do they get? They get something here. They're getting a Blood Crypt for themselves. Taking the damage. Cycling a Street Wraith. A 5 mana 3/4 with Swamp Walk. And they're going to Thoughtseize to take away our Jade Light Ranger. So hopefully we draw into like a Collected Company to get us caught back up, because this is bad. Oof. That was a bad draw. That was bad. This just might be a bad game for us. Crack their Bloodstained Mire. Pumping up their Death Shadow all the while. Just gonna attack for 6, unimpeded. It's a good strategy, really. Oh, there's a Gurmag Angler. I mean, Shaper Sanctuary. Because Shaper Sanctuary. Thought Scour. They're going to probably Thought Scour themselves. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14. Alright, well, they're going to kill me for Xaxes. Well, so this is this kind of has been bringing up what I've found in testing is why this deck kind of has trouble. Is it has such a lower density of creatures. Maybe worth exploring a Vial-less version, but that does definitely change the deck a lot. So I don't know exactly where we're going to go with this, but we have one more game just to kind of test this out and see how things work. So make sure to check out the next video coming up soon.